This is the IMAPS and DNS presentation by Zachary Stassa. The first topic we will be covering is IMAPS. Internet Message Access Protocol, or IMAP, is a protocol that is able to get emails from an email server using TCP. IMAP is widely used by many email clients. IMAP servers use port 143, while the more secure version, called IMAPS, uses port 993. IMAP is able to handle the retrieval of emails for multiple clients at a time. IMAP is also able to record the state of emails, such as whether an email has been replied to or deleted. Next, we will be talking about Dovecot. Dovecot is an IMAP server that is open source that can be run on Linux systems. Dovecot is a server that can store emails that can be later accessed by clients. Dovecot allows for emails to be sent and received by using a mail user agent. Examples of MUAs are things such as Microsoft Outlook or Mozilla Thunderbird. Dovecot can either use IMAP or POP3. It is highly efficient at consuming minimum resources, using almost no system memory to run. It is adherent to compliance standards. It is able to optimize itself to whatever client it is installed to. Security was a high priority in its design. It is able to provide ways around client bugs found in IMAP, and it provides the tools needed to migrate with ease. Now here are some IMAPs or Dovecot hardening recommendations. Open port 993, allowing IMAPS SSL certificates. If the port is closed, then all connection requests will be blocked. In the dovecot.conf file, set the mail location to the proper destination. If it is set by default, it might send the mail to an unsecure location, which would be a high security risk. Remove unnecessary protocols in the dovecot.conf file, as the more protocols that are open increases the amount of options attackers have to attack, since all it takes is one vulnerability for an attacker to exploit to gain access to the entire system. The next topic is DNS. Domain Name System, or DNS allows for the translation of domain names to IP addresses. When a website address is entered, it is queried into a DNS root name server, which requests the address from a top-level domain server. The top-level domain server provides the IP address of the domain server, which is given to the resolver, which then gives the IP address to the web browser. Now we will be talking about IIS. Internet Information Services, or IIS, is a web server that uses Microsoft.NET for TCP port application message processing. IIS is also going to be used on the Windows Server operating system. IIS is able to run on other operating systems such as Linux, but it runs best on Windows. IIS enables the processing of incoming messages through TCP ports. IIS is mainly managed through the GUI as opposed to other web servers that are mainly accessed through the command line. IIS is also used for several other purposes, such as it being used to configure HTTPS and run web apps with authentication options. In addition to that, it also is well integrated into Performance Monitor, making a service easy to monitor and keep track of in case of potential problems or issues that could pop up. Now here are some DNS or IIS hardening recommendations. Disable zone transfers to prevent attackers from performing reconnaissance to gather information on network topology. To prevent hijacking, use the origin when cross origin as the refer policy. Require that all connections are made through SSL to stop man-in-the-middle attacks. Lastly, we will be talking about bind. Berkeley Internet Name Domain, or bind, is a DNS server. Bind is going to be used on the Linux operating system. Bind has a name server which can reply to DNS requests. The name server can be set as either caching only name server or an authoritative only name server. A caching only name server can be used by clients on an internal network. and an authoritative only name server can be used by external clients. And to finish up here are some DNS or bind hardening recommendations. When running a bind server, having it be a dedicated DNS server reduces risks like resource overconsumption and vulnerability exploits. Do not run bind as root or admin to reduce the damage done in a potential breach. It is always good practice to only use privileged accounts as little as possible. In the named conf file, hide the bind version to prevent attackers from learning of any potential vulnerabilities. And with the end of the presentation, here are the references.